All right, everyone, welcome to another one of Visiblepreneur. So, for those that are watching visually, I've got a lovely lady that I've also known through networking as well too. I love her tagline, and I'm actually gonna give her the pleasure in announcing what that tagline is. You'll be able to tell right off the bat what it is. She's a pharmacist, and she is also with Arbonne. They have tons of great stuff, which she'll definitely explain into that. So, yeah, with that being said, Amy, thanks for coming on our show. And you got to tell the viewers what is it you do, and of course, what got you into this?
Okay, absolutely. Thanks, Isaiah.
And
So
give us a
yes,
tagline.
yeah, I will do that. Yes. So my name is Amy Gill, and I am your pharmacist that cares.
Love that.
Yes. So what got me into Arbonne, or what got me into pharmacy?
Well, yeah, what got you into the pharmacy and Arbonne?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, my father is a pharmacist. So
Oh.
from when I was younger, I always watched that. I thought, wow, just the respect that the pharmacists got, the knowledge and the help they could give their patients just was overwhelming to me. And I wanted to do that. From actually, there's a picture of us, my sister and I, from second and third grade at career day at school in our white lab coats.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. And how is it that you got into Arbonne?
Well, I was introduced to it from my roommate from pharmacy school. And she was telling me about this company that she was involved with. And so I heard a little bit about it and I thought, wow, this just absolutely pairs with exactly what I'm doing. They focus on health and wellness. And I thought it was just another avenue as a pharmacist that I could help people on a totally different level.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, with that being said, what was your passion in becoming a pharmacist, and how is it that you've coached people on being healthy?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, really just wanting to help people get healthy was my main goal all the time. I love to talk and I do love to educate people. So as a pharmacist, that is key to be able to counsel them, answer their questions. But when they come to the pharmacy, they're in a huge hurry anymore. Nobody has maybe 30 seconds to ask the pharmacist a question, and maybe that's all they even want to spend if I want to talk to them. So Arbonne gives me the opportunity to go in more in depth with their health and wellness, help them maybe conquer some issues they're having with their nutrition,
Yeah.
and hopefully not see them at the pharmacy if I can help them fix some of those health issues before we get to the point of needing some medication.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, because my dad he had a heart attack long time ago. True story, very very long time ago. He had stents replaced, but he had a bold pharmacist that actually told him, "Hey, listen, you're on such and such medication." I believe he was probably taking, maybe, no exaggeration, close to 8 or 10. We'll just say that. And they were trying to warn him, like, "Hey, listen, I don't know who the guy was. This happened when I was a baby, but they were saying, listen, you're on such and such medication. Look at all of this. You need to change your diet around and, get your body right." So, have you run into a particular situation like that where you've coached them, or you just spoke to them like, "Hey, listen, maybe this is a change that you need to consider"?
Yeah, absolutely. And really, 8 or 10 medications is nothing. I know people that are even on up to 20.
Wow.
And,
Okay.
that's all they do all day is take medication. They're taking something because something else is causing this. And it's just this vicious cycle. So I do talk to them about their nutrition, but they do have to be open to it because some people don't want to change their habits. And they have to be willing to want to do that. But
Hmm.
absolutely. And I love holding them accountable for these things, following up with them, see how they're doing, see what else we can maybe change up. Because if you don't give them something that is something easy they can stick to, or if we're not talking nutrition, it's got to still taste good, they're
Right.
not going to stick to it. I mean, nobody will. And what some people don't understand, it's a health journey. it's not a sprint, because if you get to somewhere like losing a whole bunch of weight quickly, it's going to come back on just as fast as it came off. So it is a constant journey for healthy living. Just like we always have dishes to do, we always have laundry, you always have to constantly work on your health.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So obviously, without describing names, can you tell us a time where you've basically told someone, "Hey, you're on this. Can you know, are you open to change, or do you just like tell them, like, what was your process of doing that?"
Sure, sure, absolutely. And this is, I mean, kind of related to both, but a little bit to Arbonne. I had a lady, I was a mother, and she was talking to me about our nutrition products. And she was so excited. She was wanting to change the way she was eating. She was eating out too much. Well, her son, who was actually in his 30s, he was there at the time, and he was listening to the conversation. And it really piqued his interest, even though I had not went there to see him. And he actually called me after that and said, "Can you help me give up soda?" I said, "Okay." I said, because I mean, obviously full of sugar and carbs. I said, "Well, what kind of soda you're drinking? How much?" He said, "I am drinking 12 Mountain Dews a day." And it wasn't just the
Wow.
cans, it was the 16-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew he was drinking a day.
Whoa.
Yes, he had a job where he was in a detail shop and just drank soda. I mean, that's what he did while he was working all day. It was easy, it was to grab. And I said, absolutely. So we had a product that I was able to still give him a little bit of energy, but clean energy, not all the caffeine and the sugar and carbs he was getting from the soda. Within a couple of days, he had given up all of his Mountain Dew. And he actually called me and said, "Tell your husband I'm going to come." My husband's a physician. And he said, "Tell him I'm going to come see him this week. I want now help giving up smoking." So it was just the one step of him giving up the soda, realizing he could be healthier, and now he wanted to change more aspects of his life.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So
I
that was a
love that.
huge win for me, as a pharmacist, as a person, and just a health coach as well.
Yeah, and it sounds like that you have a great passion for that. So I'm glad that you're actually getting out there and helping others with health and
I
wellness.
love to see these wins. I mean, they really, really make me happy. And it gets other people to say, wow, that wasn't that big of a change. I can make these little changes too that have such big impact.
Yeah, yeah, no, super happy for that. And so, of course, not only that you're a coach about helping people through being a pharmacist, but I wanted to ask, like, have you incorporated anything into like far as like using Arbonne products, things like that? So, how were you able to make the transition into doing so?
Well, it was actually quite easy because I always been passionate about health and wellness. So once I was introduced to Arbonne, realized how clean these products are. They actually exclude over 2,000 toxic ingredients from all of their products. So once I started looking at what I was using, it was time to definitely make a change. I don't think
Yeah.
there's such marketing nowadays. People don't really read all those small ingredients that are on the back. And I was shocked to see some of the things. One thing that really shocked me was in lotion, how many different kinds of alcohol are in lotion. Well, alcohol is just going to dry your skin. And the
Mm-hmm.
one that really stood out to me was a particular kind of alcohol that at the pharmacy we use to make up an acne medication
Yeah.
before they take it home. Well, what business does that have being on my hands? It's just going to dry out my skin, which just means you're going to use it over and over and over. So that was a huge thing for me. I'm like, nope, I'm done with this. And I wanted to be healthier. I have two little boys, and I want to. It's you got to get in the habit of showing them how easy it is to eat healthy, be healthy, exercise, all those things. So it was a perfect transition for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So since you say that you have two boys at home and as well as you have a very loving husband at home as well. So so would you say that the change to switch them on, like, keeping their body healthy, like, how have you been able to overcome the challenge for that?
It actually has been pretty easy because, especially with the kids, they do what they see you doing.
Yeah.
So that is easy. I mean, we don't buy soda anymore. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I love Mountain Dew as well, but I couldn't even take a drink of it now because of the sugar and carbs. It's so sweet. My oldest likes soda a little bit, but now, of course, he's changed to our fizzes, so he still gets the good taste, a little bit of carbonation, but without all the sugar and carbs. So for him, it was super easy. But the boys, and my husband, they see me doing these things, and they see how passionate I am, and they see really what it can do. Even when it comes to exercise, I do a lot of my weekly challenges. The boys are happy when they're home. They said, "Oh, can I come on Facebook Live and do it with you?" And they get down and do it. We've actually, all four of us have done challenges together as a family live on Facebook because it's more fun to do these things as a family and do it together.
Crap, I've actually missed that video, but I have seen your exercises that you've done. So I was like, oh man, that is so awesome.
You'll have to catch the one of the four of us. It was right before we left on our winter trip in the RV, and it was kind of a challenge between the four of us doing it. So it was pretty fun. You'll have to check it out.
Awesome. I didn't even know that you're a road person, because having an RV usually, well, then again, this is what I've always thought, and assumptions, how they make us look. So with that being said, because, you're pretty young, and for you to have an RV, I was like, what? No way.
Well, we rented it. We did rent it. We did, yeah.
But what was that experience like?
Honestly, it was amazing. We just first did it last summer, and my husband said, well, let's try something different. So we decided to rent an RV, and it was the best quality family time we've ever had. The boys,
Wow.
they're able to play games. Nobody's saying, are we there yet? And my husband actually did a really good job driving it. I have no idea, because the one we rented was 39 feet, and he even parallel parked it up at Montana Glacier National Park. And he was able to parallel park. I was impressed.
Oh, okay. So did you take a shot at driving it at all?
In the parking lot, he said, why don't you get behind the wheel? So he stopped at a rest area just to check. No, I like barely turned. I'm like, I'm done. Was not for me.
That quick?
Yeah, no, it was so big. And it's a diesel. So the wheels are actually behind you, kind of like a bus.
Yeah.
So it's different even how it turns than a car or even an SUV. So I thought, no, I'm going to let him keep doing it.
Oh, man, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've always thought about taking a road trip like that, but for me, I'm more of the car person because I always like to go fast. So you didn't hear that on here.
You can still go pretty fast. I mean, you can still keep it about 75 or 80 even in the RV.
Oh no, see, I'm talking about speeds of 100.
Oh no, I don't even know if the RV would do that.
Right, exactly. I don't think so
No.
either, because we're talking aerodynamics, even though it's heavy, but yeah.
It's not, RV is not aerodynamic, no.
Yeah, okay, which is what I thought. So, I wanted to ask this. This is going back to Arbonne because as you're a pharmacist, and then also with Arbonne, you make an extra source of income. So if somebody, they're looking to potentially get into that, how can they do so?
Well, absolutely. They can contact me. Are you going to put my contact information?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
perfect. But I love, and not only just do I love helping people get healthy, I love giving them a way to have a happier life, because to me, happy and healthy go together. And everybody should have the chance to own their life and love their life. And for me, being able to go extremely part-time at the pharmacy, be present for the boys, whether it's, going on a field trip or even just dropping them off or picking them up from school, I love that. And when I was working 10 or 12 hours, those things weren't as possible. I was missing out on the plays at school or being the mom that's there for the field trip and all those fun things. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. So definitely, I love to help people realize that there are other opportunities out there and we can all be limitless. We just have to realize what we can do and have the right things in place, like the right leadership. And that's what I love to do, is to help lead them in the right way to get them where they need to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it sounds like you're a born leader, so to speak.
Well, I started off being the pharmacy manager, so I think that really kind of got me in gear for leading a team.
Yeah.
And then it was a good transition into this.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And So, what have you seen like during your years of pharmacy? Like, I know clearly that you've seen people from sick, or maybe they're borderline from becoming sick, and you know, how were you able to kind of, I want to say, distinguish between the two? Them.
Well, I mean, a lot of people actually bring information from from the doctor's office, things
Yeah.
they've done. But it's nicer to see people come to me and ask me questions about getting healthy before they start getting on those medications. That's the key. But like, again, they have to want to they have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
When I have somebody come to the pharmacy and maybe they're picking up something to stop smoking, for example, first thing I ask them as I'm counseling them is, do you want to quit?
Yeah.
Even though they're getting the medication to stop, does not mean they want to quit. And I get yeses and nos, and sometimes a little hesitancy. Oh, my doctor told me I have to, or my spouse told me I have to, or I'm worried about lung cancer because I had a relative die from that. Whatever it is, but I always try to give them helping things to succeed, because that's important no matter what it is. They have to have that
Right.
discipline to do it. They have to have helping hands to succeed. So in the case of quit smoking, I'm like, how much do you spend a day on cigarettes? And either they tell me or they're just thinking in their head. I said, I want you to get a jar, and every day that you don't smoke, that you're using the medication to try to quit, I want you to put that money in the jar. I want you to count that money every morning, and I want you to count it every time you're thinking about having a cigarette. But I want you to have something that you're going to use to buy with that money, whether it's pay off a loan, whether it's go on a trip, whether it's buy yourself, I don't know, a new outfit, new shoes, whatever it is. It doesn't matter, but have a goal, and then that way you're going to stick with it. And it's the same thing with getting healthy. You have to stay disciplined, and you have to have that end goal in mind, even though you're always going to be working toward it. Just like a smoker, even if they've quit, quote, quit, for a couple
Right,
years,
yeah.
if somebody offered them a cigarette, some might still take one because it's still there. And the same thing with getting healthy. It's a constant thing. I mean, you can have a plate of donuts sitting in front of you, and I'm not saying don't have one, but don't eat the whole plate. Right? You've got to
Right,
realize,
yeah.
and it's always a constant struggle to keep up on those things. So that's just, I try to give people the tools and be realistic with them. I mean, it's not, like I said, nothing happens overnight, and anything worth having, you have to work for.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So another thing I wanted to ask too, because we were kind of talking about this earlier, the importance of keeping your skin lotion, because during cold weather, with the exception of, a few viewers on there live in the south of United States or somewhere close to the equator, as it gets cold, which it tends to dry out my skin, dry out people's skin, correct me if I'm wrong. But what is the importance of keeping lotion, making sure that, after you maybe finish shower, you put lotion on, or like a daily thing? Like, give us your advice on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned the shower, because that's a really good time when your skin is still a little moist. That's a perfect time to put on lotion, because your skin really absorbs that well. But, whether the winter or any time throughout the year, it is so important, especially in the winter during cold, because you can get these cracks on your hands. If you have open cracks on your hands, what happens? You could easily get an infection, right? And not to just mention the pain of it. Okay, so it's very important to keep your hands moisturized. And another reason is, as we age, one place that really shows your age is your hands. So if you have not taken care of them, you'll really notice that. You will truly notice the leathery skin, especially on your hands. But like I said, just using the correct products, and again, being consistent about using them is absolutely essential. But like I said, but of course, things, like I said, is infection as well if you get cracks on your hands.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. You should say that, because I'm honestly guilty of that. So that was because I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot remember the last time I put lotion on. So
Now
oh,
you'll
boy.
think about it.
Yeah, I have to now, because even though I'm 30 and I literally just turned 30, but it's like, I gotta keep an eye out for that. So
Absolutely, because we age every day. Just here's a little tidbit for you. For every night you don't wash your face, your skin ages a week,
Oh wow.
because you're not washing off all those toxins and oils that you've been exposed to all day.
Yeah.
Even if as a man you're not wearing makeup, it's still you need to wash off those oils and toxins from all day long. So see, there's another little tip for you.
Yep, I will take that. Absolutely. So I wanted to ask, what was it? So another thing I wanted to ask, like, kind of going back into the Arbonne, so to speak. Like, I know that they have different lotions. They have some the packs that you can put into some water, shake it up, and it's like some good stuff. So give us a little bit about the products that they have.
Sure. Well, I won't go through all 400.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect that. But
We don't have enough time for that, but I'll kind of give you the highlights. So like I've been talking about the nutrition, we've got an amazing nutrition line, and since Arbonne is vegan, the protein shakes are a pea protein. So what's really nice about that compared to other protein shakes, you don't have the GI upset. So you're not going to have the nausea, the bloating, the gas. It doesn't taste like protein and it doesn't smell like protein. So that's a huge difference just with our shakes alone. The package you're talking about are the energy fizzes. And
Yes.
so what that is, it's a whole bunch of B vitamins and a little bit of green tea. So you're going to get natural caffeine, but you won't crash like you do from soda or coffee. So that's huge. And we have sports nutrition. We have all kinds of things in our nutrition line. But our next line is our skincare. So we have amazing anti-aging skincare line called Age Well. It just came out. What's really neat about that, when you hear about commercials, you hear about anti-aging, you think about wrinkles. The first thing you think of is retinol. Well, retinol can actually cause a lot of skin irritation, and you really can't use them more than once a day. It works, but it does cause a lot of skin irritation for people that have especially sensitive skin. That was in our older line, and now they've actually come up with a plant-derived alternative to it called bakuchiol, and it's not irritating. You can actually use it twice a day, and it's good for all skin types and skin tones. So that is huge. So if you're using it twice a day, of course, you get faster results, right?
Yeah.
And then, so those are our huge flagship lines, but we also have an acne line. We have a line it's called Prep Work. It's a little less steps for anti-aging, more for your teenagers and your people in your 20s that are looking for not as many steps.
Yeah.
But we have baby products. We have men's products. I mean, we have soaps and lotions. You can pretty much change over most things in your house to nice, clean choices with Arbonne.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is awesome. So last thing I wanted to ask is, how does someone get in contact with you, whether they're, not necessarily for pharmacy, but like, if they want to get started on Arbonne? How can someone do that?
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, you can always find me on Facebook at the Amy Gill. You can email me at Amy Gill, Gill, at theamygill.com. You can also go to my website, also theamygill.com. And then my phone number is 828 Amy Gill.
Ooh, wow.
I know.
Literally,
I
Amy
know.
Gill for everything. I love that.
It
I
makes
love
it
that.
easy, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, my last name's 4 letters and my first name's 3, so it makes it pretty convenient to
Yes.
remember it.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show for today.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, I had fun as well. And for the people out there that you'd like to get on the show, please reach out to Visiblepreneur at visiblepreneur@gmail.com. Send us your questions. Would love to answer them. I want to start doing a question answer strategy, so be sure to reach out to that. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and we're also posted on Anchor, which goes out to Spotify, and a few other different platforms that I can't think of off the top of my head. But just look up Visiblepreneur. You can even Google us, and we're there. So with that being said, hope everyone on here has a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. Thank you so much, and take care.